Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy, Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we've got 5 games to end the work week for you guys tonight. In this one, we are taking a look at the Pacers playing host to the Bucks, looking to get back into form with their full healthy squad. They also got another game video up for you guys today and our player props as we do each and every weekday. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Also head to thelines.com. You can check out all the stuff we're talking about here and more about the NBA this season there, and use our odds finder tool. That's where you can go ahead and shop those lines to the best of your ability. Make sure that you're checking out what all the U.S. sportsbooks are offering you and getting the best juice back on those bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into this 5-game slate and then talk Pacers and Bucks.
Only 5 games on a Friday. What's up with that, NBA schedule makers?
Man.
But yeah, we got some good bets. I think the 2 games. The first game we're talking about, Bucks are minus 7.5 at Indy. I don't know if that's going to grow by the time this airs tomorrow. But I mean, it's a great opening line if you like Milwaukee against the Halliburton-less Pacers. Total is 237. Then you got the Grizz minus 3 at the Wolves, also a 237 total. Those teams really hate each other, and Memphis trying to snap that 4-game skid. Cavs in a pick'em at the Thunder. They're on a back-to-back, but they basically put Houston to bed in the second quarter on Thursday night. Magic plus 7 at the Heat, and the low total there, 217. And then the other game we break down, Raptors are plus 5 at the Warriors with a 230 total. And I do like the over there. And we had a little disagreement about the Warriors or Raptors in that. And so check out that game video, see why each of us like a different side. But I think we're both in agreement here on the Bucks to probably win by double digits against the Halliburton-less Pacers, who are 1-7 straight up, 2-6 against the spread now, 8 games without Halliburton. They're 25th in scoring, 26th in three-point shooting, 26th in net rating. I mean, they've been a bad defensive team all year. That's not necessarily going to change with or without him. But, I mean, what they are doing is scoring the highest percentage of their points off free throws. Not a good recipe against Milwaukee. Number 1 limiting free throws are in the last 8 or so, number 3 on the season. They're also scoring the second highest percentage of points off the fast break. Again, not really good against a good transition team, and getting the highest offensive rebound percentage. Milwaukee's a great rebounding team. And so there's a reason Milwaukee's won 9 straight in this matchup and covered in 7 of those. The ones they didn't cover, they still won by 9, including just failing to cover by 0.5. The last time out, thanks to Buddy Hield going nuts from 3, the Bucks still had no real issue because Giannis, if you remember, had that historic line, 50 points on 17 for 21 field goal shooting. He does whatever he wants against this team at 36 points per game, 71% field goal shooting his last 4 against the Pacers, 3 of those in Indy. And I know there's some issues with the Bucks on the road for sure. They are now dead last in offensive efficiency on the road versus 6th at home, but they're second in defense on the road. That's why it's basically flipped 16-8 to the under versus 16-8 to the over at home. 237 is a really high total. The Pacers can get there because they're so bad defensively, but I kind of lean under here along with the Bucks, just because you look at some of the stuff for down the stretch numbers. Like Pacers are good in the fourth quarter, but that was with Halliburton in the last 5 here. They're down to 19th in offensive rating and one of the best defensive ratings, though, 104.7 in the fourth quarter in the last 5. Under in 4 of their last 5 home games. Bucks went under in 6 straight road games before they had that ridiculous 280 total against the Pistons. Game played at a 111 pace, but in general, the Bucks are down more around a 98 pace. And you said, rounding into form, we think, they've already won 4 of their last 5. They played Denver's backups and took care of business in that last one. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the full team. But, with Drew and Giannis healthy, with Middleton at least playing a role off the bench and Ingles in there to interchange, the Bucks have closer to their full team. And this is the time of year where we've seen in the past them kind of hit the gas and it's a division opponent they've just dominated in the division for the last 3 seasons, of averaging a margin of victory of 10 points and 33-10 straight up in division games.
Yeah, you said it, man. I don't know. You said all the best stuff there. I like, and my favorite thing to talk about here is Giannis just owning them, and he has those teams. And I think what's interesting is there's a kind of a correlation. I think in terms of not having really strong defensive guards, which is interesting because you'd think having like big centers is really important, and it is. And Miles Turner is a shot blocker, but it's really dependent on someone else guarding Giannis well enough that then Miles Turner can come over and block that shot, because that person's sort of already bothering Giannis, and who's going to do that in this game that would have the size and versatility to stay in front of him. It's sort of the same core. Like you said, they haven't gotten better at defense since Halliburton went down. If anything, they've just sort of been so bad on offense at times that there isn't necessarily as much of a run and gun need from the other team that as they've been playing these other games, and there's plenty of unders in there at this point. It's partly because they fail to come along, or really, even if it's a little bit closer in some of these games that they played tough. Even when they beat the Bulls, they played them tough. Who knows what's going on with them? They just lost to Charlotte tonight. And then the Suns, another game that they play close without Halliburton. But, these other games are still sort of the same style of Indiana basketball, and they're still doing everything the same way. Like, obviously, their rebounding hasn't really been affected by Halliburton. Even their assist percentage has only like slightly gone down since he's been out, because that's really the only way that they play well. But part of the reason that they've, you like some of the unders for them, a potential under is because of the way that they play at the end of the game. Their offensive rating is also really bad at the end of the game, and obviously you see, if you've been watching them at all, it's a matter of not having anybody. The identity is still the same: pass the ball and move it. But without Halliburton in there to just have the reins, you see guys like Benny Matz, his shooting percentage going down, taking bad shots as well. Buddy Hield, slightly unaffected because he's someone who will pop it and pull it from anywhere. But even he has obviously been seeing a lot more defended threes than he would normally get if Halliburton was in there drawing the defense in. So I've been picking on the Pacers basically since Halliburton went down, because I don't think that there's a spread often big enough against a lot of these teams that would make me scared of it. 7.5 is still confounding me, because I just figured that people would want all of this for the Bucks, and that people would start to ride them. The reason I said starting to round into form is because getting everybody on the court at the same time is pretty important. Giannis has been back for 2 games, but they played the Pistons and the Nuggets, like C squad. Like, they didn't have anybody starting in that game, much less Joker, right? So that was pretty unimpressive, the way that they sort of handled them in that one. And I still want to see a bit more from them, but this is definitely a continuation of what we saw against the Pistons in terms of like a get right game, team in conference and division that they're just going to dominate, because this is what they do, especially at not home or on the road. There's just no talent on the floor for Indiana in this one.
Yeah, that's the question. If it's like that Pistons game, and you're talking about over, for sure, if they're going to dominate to that extent. But I think the total is so high because they hit 251 in the last meeting here. This is one of those 8 games that the Pacers have struggled in. Drew Holiday went off. Bucks had 23 threes, shot 50% from deep, and had 32 assists. And that's at home, though. Like, we talked again about the home road splits. And while that's encouraging for them to continue to be able to attack this defense, I don't think that's something you bank on in terms of them scoring 130 again, which is why, maybe this total is a little high, but we don't need to complicate it too much. I think you can take the Bucks at this spread, but maybe, if you are liking what we're saying about the under, then maybe you want to tease the Bucks down, because this could be at 10 points by tomorrow afternoon, and you need to tease it down and get the total up at 241 or so, and feel a little bit better about those two.
Yeah, that's fair. Or, as my preferred bet would usually be there, the money line parlayed with that total, if you feel that good about it. But I think I'm hitting the Bucks up to about 10, to be honest with you. Right at about double digits is where I might start to feel like that value wanes. But I think that the way that they are coming in, I think they need this game, and it's a division game once again that they seem to show up for. So Giannis to the rescue for everybody who might want to take them at about 8 to 9 points, if that's how high it is when you are seeing this. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. Check out the other couple videos we have up for you today, including that player props one. And until we see you next, happy betting.